all these questions have to do with the last 6 episodes we did, the parenting miniseries. So all the questions I have here are from people that are members on the website. So thank you to everybody that left in questions. I picked 10 of them that we're going to try to get through all 10 because that seems like a reasonable number. And I printed this the wrong way, so we're going to try to get through the 10. Some people asked to not have names included, so I'm not going to have names included for some of them. But so these are all members. So people that are interested in becoming a member, it's on the website, powertechhockey.ca/memberships, or in the bio as well. And you can ask us questions and get consultations, etc., which is really nice because some of these questions are very specific. So it's nice to be able to, as I said before, contextualize our answers to some specific examples. Okay, so question 1. This is from Barry. My son is 13. He has all the size, speed, talent, and skills. He's 13 years old. He's a practice and cone specialist, but lacks the hockey IQ. His AAA and AA tryouts ended with him getting cut for this reason alone. I know you said that some kids either just have it or they don't, but he's ready to commit to anything that will help him. We value your feedback. So there wasn't a question mark in that, but the question is more or less, how do you develop hockey IQ? You can go first.
Yeah. Okay. So number one, it's very common that kids are really good with pylons. It's like very, 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 very common. And then you get in a game, it's like, why can't he do it? But the first thing with that is that you're practicing things that aren't realistic. Which I still think you should practice that because it's good skill development. But being good on cones is not being good on a player. It's not game situation. There's no resistance. There's not a whole lot of thinking except for figuring out the time and space on the next cone and focusing on your moves. But that doesn't really translate necessarily, except for every now and then, into something that could be there in a game. So that's number one is
practice game situation.
The cones. You see, those guys are a dime a dozen. Barry, yeah, Barry. So I'm not saying your kid's a dime a dozen. But what I'm saying is like that's the easy part of hockey is being good in practice and probably enjoyable because you get to handle the puck and do all kinds of stuff. The other thing is there's not a lot of competition when you're going against a cone, right? Like the hockey is about to compete. It's a battle, and not having the battle is a big deal. So you want to have constraints when you're playing or when you're practicing. So that's why a lot of guys look good in practices, doing drills that don't think about the game of hockey, and then when it comes to a game, they're not showing. So, so the first thing I would say is, first of all, what position is he? Okay, so yeah, no, that's my question, right? So Barry, what position is your son? Because that will have a lot to do with not necessarily hockey IQ, but how you think in the game. Like I could give you more feedback if I understood what position you are, and then I would just assume that if you had zero hockey sense, or very little hockey sense, or you wanted to build hockey sense, to me, you have to have a position or go back to basics, and the basics are the things that actually make you great. So yeah, we would like to see guys, like everyone likes to see a guy have a highlight goal and make highlight plays, but that's not the norm in the game. If you're on the ice 18 times or 18 shifts in a game, most of those shifts are going to be the boring, mundane stuff. Not boring, but mundane. That means getting in puck lanes. That means back checking hard. That means getting in your position. That means going to the net hard. It's making a play, forechecking hard, different things like that. So those are the things that you want to start your hockey IQ from.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
For sure.
So if I'm a forward, let's say, and this is the advice I would give to you is learn the little things. So if you're a forward, like I always tell people, is like find 3 to 5 things, but like 1 or 2 things in every zone, or 3 to 5 things in a game that you can do that has nothing to do with being a highlight reel. Because if you learn how to forecheck hard and take good angles, for example, that might be one thing, then you're going to be around the puck a little bit more, right? If you're around the puck a little bit more, you're probably going to be around plays. So that's a good thing. So that's a measurable thing. If you're in the neutral zone, are you just going straight at guys? or you angling properly. So learn angles so that you can be around the puck more. In your defensive zone, be in good positions and learn those positions so that you're around turnovers or you're a pass option when the team has the puck. So that's like a couple things. It could be little things like finishing hits. It could, but like maybe there's no hitting yet. Well, 13 there probably is. But that's what I would say is find the little things. And if you're a defenseman, it's like be a defenseman. Learn how you learn have your stick, make plays, take away time and space from people, defend really well, move the puck up the ice. But pick 3 things that you can do in every zone, every shift. Not meaning, so to be clear on that, if you're not in your defensive zone, you can't play in your defensive zone. So 3 things. So now you're in offensive zone. Have 1 or 2 things that you can do well. Maybe it's a shot on net. I don't know, but that's something. And then the other thing is, I got 2 more things, and then I'll let you talk. So the other side would be, if you don't have a clue, like watch a game, watch some video, watch a game of maybe your favorite player, someone at your position, and watch the things that they do. Watch the habits they create. Watch your favorite player. And maybe don't even watch your favorite player. Watch someone that is just a pretty good player that you know of, and just watch the habits and just emulate what they're doing. So if you see they skate hard at pucks, and just try hard. But because there's no hard work will get you a little bit, right? So that could be on a back check, forecheck. But anyways, watch a game, watch what the position do, and then try to follow the game a little bit and try to understand it through video. Then the other thing would be like, and pick that player that is the same position as you. And the other thing is, if you really want to know more about yourself as a player, like what you could be, what could you be lacking or whatever, is watch some shifts of yourself, because the video doesn't lie. If you watch video of yourself, you're going to be able to tell, oh, I worked really hard, or I chicken shitted out on that one, or I'm lost. I'm just not doing anything, so that you can say, okay, I'm not doing anything, or oh, I like what I saw there. How can I make it better? So self-evaluate, right?
Yep.
So
Those are
that's what I would say.
No, those are all great. My ads were going to be the watching hockey and video stuff. So just to kind of tighten up kind of what you're saying, the bottom line for hockey IQ is you need to understand why things happen on the ice, because if you understand why things happen, then you can make decisions that make sense in the context of whatever the play is that's going on. So it's like, okay, why did that guy catch that pass? Why did that guy not catch that pass? Why is that guy standing there? Why is that defenseman position there? These are the things that you can ask when you are watching, and that's what's going to help you learn the decision making part of the game, which is hockey IQ. Because, like, to your point, you said at the start, everybody can do cone stuff. Everybody can be good at stick handling, but that isn't the game. The game is not that. So when you're watching hockey, those are some of the things that you can look for. The other part of watching too is, you said, pick someone that's the same position. Try to pick someone who's not Connor McDavid. That's a good practice, because then you have to find someone to watch for a certain reason. It's easy to pick McDavid, Matthews, Marner, Makar, whoever in those top 1% of 1% positions, and they do so many things well. But you could just be overwhelmed by the offensive dominance that they have or something, where it's like you're distracted from the reason you're watching, which, if your goal is to learn the more intricate parts of the game, then like watching Connor McDavid go end to end isn't necessarily useful in that context. So if you remove that, pick a really good third line centerman, for example. Like, I don't know, is what's his name, is Killorn a centerman? He's a winger. Who's like a good third line centerman? I can't think of anybody right now.
Thinking off the top of my head, let's say Adam Lowry from.
There you go. Right, there's a guy that nobody would think of, or even Stanley Cup Finals are on right now. Right, watch third line center from either side, and just watch what they do, because now you're not watching Kachuk, or you're not watching. I mean, even though Kachuk would probably be a good guy to watch, but you're watching somebody who's the top number one guy, and you can get distracted by those really nice offensive things that those players can do. So take that out of it, so you can learn some of those more subtle details. So that's what I'd say about watching. You got something? I feel like you got something.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, and the other thing is like second effort stuff. Like, just I'm a
exactly.
big guy on that. Just find a way to have second effort. Like, if you and compete. Like those are the things. Like, if you're playing the game and you're not in a battle, like almost every shift, it means that you're not engaged. It means that you're not in a compete mode. You need to compete, and then with compete, it's not just kind of compete, and then have the second battle. You should be very, very tired if you're in battles.
Yeah,
So
and so this is kind of to my point too. If you're watching a Connor McDavid, maybe he just had a great battle, but then he throws a 50-foot sauce on the tape. And now it's like, whoa, what a pass. It's like, yeah, but you missed the battle, which is that's what we're trying to learn about right now, you know? So that's kind of what I mean by that. So that's what I would say about watching the hockey stuff. And then the other thing I was going to say is what? What was I going to say? Video. Oh, for this specific question, or asker, he mentioned just one thing I wanted to touch on. He mentioned his AAA and AA tryouts ended with him getting cut for this reason alone. For this reason alone. So I just wanted to touch on that for 1 second because maybe that is the only reason that he got cut is because he doesn't understand how to play from a hockey IQ standpoint. But at 13, like if he's fast enough, big enough, can move the puck, has all the skills but lacks hockey IQ, he probably would have still made one of those teams. So my point, and maybe not, but my point being is just be careful saying that this is the only thing that he's missing, right? Because there's a lot of things that a lot of kids are missing. And maybe I'm not saying you're necessarily wrong. Maybe he's only is lacking the hockey IQ, but to say that this is the only reason, and even if your coach said that, like that's the reason, whatever, that doesn't mean that that's the only thing that you guys should be paying attention to. Because if he didn't make AAA or AA, but he has the goal of making AAA or AA at 13, then there's some gaps, and it probably isn't just the one thing. So that's the only caution I would give you for just the way you phrase this part. For that, this is the only thing that he's missing. It's like there's probably more to it than that. So just think about a couple, or look for something else too. And like I said, maybe you're right, but just in case you're not, just take a look.
yeah. The other thing is if you do watch video, or it might not be in the video, ask yourself this question. Like, for example, why is the puck why does it seem like every time I'm not around the puck, like our team gets the puck and I'm open, because you hear kids say that a lot, right? I'm open, I never get the puck. Ask yourself questions like, why aren't you getting the puck? Because if you are that open, you probably should. So maybe you're open in a bad way. Like maybe the puck is not even turned over yet and you're already going off the ice. Like you're open, but the guy can't get it through 5 people. Or maybe you're really good at carrying the puck, like cone drills, right? And you're really, really good at that. I was telling you someone that Charlie played with is like, get the puck, go up the ice, and he'd always end up in the corner and lose the puck or be in a battle and be a turnover. It's like he did some of it well, but he couldn't think, okay, like he didn't ever ask himself, okay, why do I end up in a corner every single time? Like, why can't I get it to the net? So it's like, that's the things you got to fix. And they're solvable because you're doing, in that case, the kid was doing something right, but he wasn't making it better. So not
Yep.
creating scoring chances. So anyways,
For
there you
sure.
go.